Hey, I've got Ryzeal Runick. I think this is a really cool concept. The side deck is something I'm still working on, but I think I've got the main deck and the extra deck pretty much completely sorted. So the really cool thing about this deck is that the Runick cards are not only board breakers and interruption, but they're also like a bunch of instant fusion targets pretty much. So because Geri is a level 4, if your hand is weak to a singular hand trap, you can just special summon Geri. So, and another thing is that sometimes when I've been playing this format and the deck that I'm playing has heavy amounts of non-engine, I feel like I just don't draw my non-engine as much. Like, this is pretty much like you want to see one of these cards, and if you don't, it's really hard. Obviously stuff like Fuwalos and Mereologic are usually main decked in pure Ryzeal, so that can kind of mitigate it. You use Fuwalos and they pass back to you, and then you can probably start playing. But I still think the Runick stuff is a really cool concept. So now I'm gonna get right into the deck profile. I've got 3 Ext, so Ext can special summon itself by sending an Xyz monster from the extra deck to the graveyard. And when it's special summon, you can add 1 Fire Thunder from your deck to your hand, which is Sword or Node. I'm pretty sure there's no other Fire Thunder. And Sword is very similar. When Sword is special summon, you can add a Light Pyro, so Ice or Ext. When Ice is summoned, you can special summon any Ryzeal from your deck. And Sword can also special summon itself if you have a Ryzeal on your field or graveyard. So you usually go Ice into Sword to grab Ext. I also play Node Ryzeal, just 1 copy. So if you have an Xyz monster on your field or your graveyard, you can special summon it, and then you can send a card from your hand or field to the graveyard to then revive a Ryzeal. So usually if I have Fountain plus the Cross, I will use Ice to special summon itself, or send the Fountain off node to revive, or to special summon itself, and then I will then activate the Cross. Next, I play the 3 copies of Bonfire. Bonfire lets me add a level 4 or lower Pyro, so that's going to be your Ext or your Ice. Plugin is a quick play monster reborn pretty much that also gets material. Sometimes, a lot of the time, when you're playing on Striker Malice, they will have multiple forms of interruption for the Detonator. So they're going to be like removing it several times, so Eclipse Twins can only revive once, right? So then you need other ways to summon it back, which is why I play Plugin. Cross is really cool, so I can target 2 Ryzeal cards in my graveyard, shuffle them, and then draw a card. So you can also shuffle in Plugin. But the monster effect is the main. You can also negate a monster effect at resolution. It doesn't activate, so it's really cool for stopping people from building bigger boards. I also play 3 copies of Ash. Only reason why I play this instead of Fuwalos, Mereologic, other hand traps, is because it can stop Fuwalos and Mereologic. That's also good into every single matchup. Next, I play 3 copies of Talents. It's because hand traps are really running around, they're pretty rampant, so being able to rip a card from opponent's hand or drawing 2 cards is really strong, especially as decks tend to lean towards playing more non-engine. They will usually only have 1 piece of engine or non-engine, 1 piece of engine or 2 pieces of engine. So if you rip 1, hopefully then your interruptions on board will be enough to stop them. And if they're playing board breakers, Talons can also rip those. And now for the Runicks, so every single Runick can special summon a Runick monster from the extra deck. So as I said before, it's like playing a bunch of the instant fusions, and each of them do have a unique effect. So a first effect, so Reversing Curses negates a monster effect. Tip can add. Slumber will prevent a monster being destroyed by battle or card effect for the turn. Also, it can stop your opponent from attacking, so able to stall it out a little bit. Flashing Fire destroys a special summon monster. Destruction destroys a spell or trap. Dispelling will, if your opponent adds, you can discard a random card from their hand. And then Smiting Storm banishes cards from the top of their deck. So every single Runick spell does also banish, so that's also an alternate win con. And alongside Fountain, which lets you recycle your Runick spells. You put them at the bottom of the deck, and then you draw the same amount. So usually you're drawing like 3. So you have infinite grind game, because you run out of Ryzeal cards really quick. So then after you're pretty much out of your Ryzeal engine, all you really have left is Bonfire, Ash, Talented, more Runicks, so that you can really deck your opponent out pretty easily. Now for the extra deck, I played 2 Detonator. I'm thinking making this 3, but 2 is fine for now, especially because you only need 2, because if you need to summon the 3rd one, you're better off just using your Runick spells. Duo Drive is a searcher, and you can add 2 Ryzeal cards. This is how you search your Cross and your plugin, because all the monsters only lead to each other, but you need to go into Duo Drive to add these. Oh, Detonator's effect lets you destroy cards if they activate an opponent's effect, so it's kind of like Trident. And if Detonator to be destroyed, you can attach an Exceed material from it instead. And when Detonator is also summoned, it can attach a monster from the graveyard to it. Duo Drive has a similar effect, but it can only attach a Ryzeal. Eclipse Twins can be easy summon using rank 4 monsters, but something really cool is that when it's sent to the graveyard, you can revive one Exceed monster and then attach another one to it as material. So you have Duo, so you attach Duo to Detonator and revive it back. That's how you play around like Imperm and Kaijus and Lava Golem. Aggregator is literally only in here for Ext. Like with Eclipse Twins, you do send it off the Ext Ryzeal, but it's also a combo extender and a combo piece a lot of the time, because you want to kind of send it, if it gets in the graveyard, it can then revive the Detonator back. But Aggregator is just because when it's sent to the graveyard, it can negate a face-up card in the field. Exciton Knight's really cool too, so you can detach material from it, and then you destroy all of their cards in the field, but they take no damage. It's just the stack Zeus, because even though it's an Exceed stack, you can't play Zeus because they all rank 4 lock. Dugares, I very rarely use the special summon from the graveyard deck, unless it's for Detonator, because when Detonator special summon, you can attach the monster, but like it's really rare that I ever do it. Because then you have to skip your main phase. I more so do the draw 2, discard 1, because your Runick spells already draw for you anyway. TY-PHON is just here as like an out to the Detonator. I just feel like I need it because you have your Runick spells to back you up. Dweller is really good this format. You can detach material from it, and then your opponent can activate the card effects in the graveyard. So really good with all the Fiendsmith stuff running around. And next, 2 Hugin and 2 Geri. So Hugin, I only special summon if I can easily dispose of it with an ice or a node to search Fountain. And Geri, you can add a Runick Fountain from your graveyard to your hand, but it's also an extender, like another level 4 monster. Something to note here is that these rank 4 lock you from the extra deck, not level 4 lock. So if you use one of their effects that lock you, you cannot special summon Geri from the extra deck. The side deck is something that I'm working on right now. I have Lancea, I think it's a must play against Malice going second. Duster, I like too. Slayer is so good into the Ryzeal mirror that I think it's pretty much needed. But Meowls and Fua and Judgment, I'm debating right now. I think Fua probably should be played because going second. I've been testing the deck and I've been setting out Ash and putting Fua, which is kind of good because then they pass, and the Runick cards are really good into simplified game states. But Meowls and Judgment, I am considering removing them, as Lancea pretty much does all of it, and Judgment doesn't make a lot of sense. It might as well be another go second card, because that's what this deck struggles more so with. Like if you're going first, you've pretty much confirmed win, but going second can be an uphill battle. So that's all I've got for the deck. Thank you for watching.